So I'm now diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I'm going through it, but I'm still maintaining, you know, odd jobs here and there, different types of jobs, warehouse, all that stuff. And it's not really suiting me, but kids are still in contact with her. She calls. When she calls, can I talk to Raheem? Or whoever she wants to talk to. She talks to the children, but she doesn't really talk to me. I don't really talk to her. Too much is going on. Starting to realize certain things. She doesn't ask me to bring the kids to her or anything. It's after speaking to the children, I know that she wants the children to come and see her. So she's not asking me to bring them, you know. She talked to them, and then after they come on the phone, those are the, you know, behind the back things she's been doing and used to doing. I end up having a birthday party for my second born, and she's invited and everything. When the party is over, a friend of mine is taking her home. About the next day or so, the friend of mine says, Nikki, I waited to that lady and she don't even know me from anywhere. And on the way back for bring her home, she start talking about you. You know? And me no know, but may I tell you, she don't like you. It's okay. Too much is going on now, so, you know, in and out of my life, things are going on. It's no longer safe for the kids and I to live where we're living, so I end up moving from there. I moved even further from the city, because that time it was Toronto I was living in. So now I move like 2.5, 3 hours away. She has no way of finding out where I live. No way of coming close. Nobody from the city, no friend of his, no one can come where I live. I go back to school, start doing personal support worker in school. We get a dog, a nice little Shih Tzu, pretty little fluffy girl. We named her Missy. And the kids and I are just enjoying our new home. First time we're living in a townhouse now, you know. And we're happy, relaxed. Kids are going to school. You know, my older son is taking his brother to school, and I bring my daughter at the time to daycare, and I'm going to school, and you know, after that I find a job. But during all of that, I'm going back and forth in Toronto, and I go pick up the nieces and nephews, I would say, from his nephew's baby mothers, the other two baby mothers, you know, the first and the last one. The middle one really didn't communicate with me. We didn't really communicate, you know, like that. So I'm picking these children up. They're going to Auntie Nikki's house, everything, everybody. I have fun, and you know, I always be driving an SUV, so I always make sure I have space, you know, pick them up, and they just have fun. So I'm there living. She still has not been invited to my home because I already gone through enough. Every new girl will come in her life, and she that with them up and tight, and everybody comes into her life. She sit down and the conversation is Nikki. No matter what, the conversation ends up being Nikki and how Nikki terrible. During this time, I'm still visiting the kid's father. You know, he's incarcerated, you know, and he proposed to me during this time, and we're happy. You know, I said, you know what, if you're gonna do it, he bought me a ring. I'm like, listen, you better do it in front of your children and everything, so I know it's real. So he proposed to me, got on my knee, whatever, on one of the conjugal visits, and yeah, that's how it happened. So he eventually comes home and he's reintroduced into society. He stays in the halfway house, but he comes home to us, his family, the children and I, on the weekends. And things are going okay. You know, I drive him to where he wants to go, bring him to go see her, whatever. Bring our dog. She hates the dog. You could tell. She's just, you just see something just snap into her, and she tries not to show the emotion, but just by the thing she's saying, yeah, Don't remember though. You know, those type of way, talking down in our throat, kinda. But you could tell that she really don't like the dog. She hates the dog. Then now, I'm having a birthday party for my first child, my big son. And it's summertime, so it's a barbecue. I'm barbecuing outside. Not even aware, he didn't even let me know. She's coming to the barbecue. I'm like, no. I see his friend show up. I see the friend show up. And she comes out the car. The first thing, she come up to the door and I'm like, oh. Who gets so fat? She's looking at me, so I'm gonna put on weight. Who gets so fat? I didn't say nothing about it because them time I'm living life. I'm stress free. I'm doing my thing. I'm happy. My children and I are content. No worries. No one to be in and out my face and pop up on me and still chatting me behind my back. None of that is not going on. I'm good. Is their father and I are doing fine. Our relationship is fine, even though he's away, but then he's home now and we're living the family life. Everything went okay, but you could see she's not comfortable where she's sitting down and, you know, watching everything going on, and that's it. That Christmas now, it's her again. He invites her to stay over this time for Christmas because all my family are gonna come over. I'm having Christmas dinner at my house. I decided I'm gonna do that. Well excited and everything. She comes, she stays over. Every time she uses the bathroom, my whole bathroom is full of powder. The whole mat on the floor is full of powder. I'm like, why this lady have to do the place like this with powder after she shower? What's going on here? My whole mats are full of powder. You hear me? Eventually, it happens where my dog started getting sick. When I shower my dog is just going on. He was playing downstairs in the basement with the children, and the children run back to tell me that the dog is acting weird, like she's having a seizure. I bring the dog and surrender the dog to Humane Society because that was a time, I wasn't working at that time yet. I was in school, yes, but I was doing like clinical, and I would have to study sometimes for tests and all of that, and I would have to come home and the dog just shut up the whole cage and everything, and I decided it was too much. My neighbors and I started having peer problem. One of my neighbors saw my son bringing the dog out to walk once, and the leash dropped and the dog started running, and my son chased the dog and stepped on her foot by accident. And they call Humane Society and everything. I didn't know that until, you know, after surrendering the dog, and the Humane Society called me about a report. That was that. He ended up going back to jail. He breached his parole and he had to go back. Not only he's in jail, but now his nephew is in jail too, because they're like rotating in and out, in and out, in and out. Something always happens, whether he is out, his nephew is in. His nephew is out, he is in. This time they're both gone in. So now the last baby mother of the nephew is coming up to my house, and she's coming and she's basically reporting, letting me know what my mother-in-law is saying about me moving out so far, and if anyone think they're gonna come between her and her son, what she's not gonna do from what she's not gonna do. I'm like, okay. More threats about voodoo, about Obia. Like, okay. So happened, one of the neighbors' children stole a cousin of mine who came to see us and spend time hat, and altercation, argument. Co-op decided to pick on me and talk to me about it, have meetings and everything, and about me being evicted. And I went to the meeting and said, you guys never welcomed me here and I didn't feel welcome, so do what you have to do. I was evicted, ended up have to move, had to leave again, leave from my comfort that I was. But I was having issues in the nursing home because I was facing a lot of racism and, you know, jealousy, because I was doing a really good job and everything. So pure issues were going on. We ended up being evicted and had to leave. Ended up in a different city, closer back down from the 2 hour, closer back down to Toronto now. In a hotel, the city put us up. Then we got housing. He came home now again, and I got pregnant with the last baby. But it's like all hell broke loose again. She wasn't able to come stay there. She wasn't able to come to our house, but he was back and forth going to see her and going in the city and come back. But there's always something. Every time he goes out to the city to see her, something's going on. And it was like his excuse to go on and go live his free life as well. Too much was going on. Ended up getting evicted from that place after being pregnant. And something happened with him. Police came, all kind of nonsense. Basically dig up my house and all sorts of stuff. He was back in jail. I went and I bailed him because I was pregnant with my last child, the last baby. When we lost that place, we were in a hotel put up by the city for a little bit again. And then I said, you know what? Let's go to Jamaica. This would have been the first time he would be traveling with the children and I to Jamaica, because I've always traveled to Jamaica with my children. From the first one was born, you know, the second one, my daughter, we always go. But this time, the baby was born, we were evicted, and it would have been the first time my family in Jamaica would be meeting him. So excited, everything. We're at her house now because we couldn't stay in the hotel for too long. We didn't find a place. We went to stay with her, and that's when I started seeing the devil itself. I started witnessing the devil itself. I would feel my head raising at times. Some things she would be doing with me inside of that house. She would always be leaving to go somewhere. Nobody knows where she's going. We have a vehicle, but she will take her bus and go do whatever she has to go, wherever she wants to go, and come back. She would be going out so often. She's not working, but this woman always finds time to be going on the road for what, I don't know. The relationship between him and I, it was like it was non-existent. I said, you know what? What's going on? But that was after we went to Jamaica. Before we went to Jamaica and decided we're going to Jamaica, things are going okay. We were sending down a barrel so that the barrel could reach before we went down. Pure problem. My baby father was never in the house. He could never be home. Me and her and my kids, them there. I was smoking like a chimney. Smoking marijuana like crazy. He wasn't home. Always in and out, in and out. I said, you know what? I got so upset, and me and her start arguing. The woman threw water upon me. Me just take my son, my baby powder, and just dose her over her head with the powder. We went to Jamaica. It was the worst vacation ever. In all my time going to see my family. My sister and I got in an argument. I don't know how it triggered. Almost fought at the beach. My auntie and I, that we're so close, got in an argument over her finding something for my grandmother to wear to go to somewhere I wanted to take my grandmother. Like a hotel I wanted to go spend time with her. Him and I were at each other's throat, arguing back and forth like some big careless life we live. My sister helped me to rent a van for us to go on an outing. The seats in the van kept going out of place, in and out of place. We'll reach in a pothole tire burst. We had to end up stopping at a tire shop to get new tires. On the way is when my sister and I got in an argument. My sister called me and I was just getting frustrated in an argument. The woman told me that her vehicle was fine. All that I'm telling her is going on with her vehicle, never experienced that ever. She rented it to other people before, nothing like that happened. I found out she told my children's father, my baby father, that I was taking him to Jamaica to have somebody take his life. I don't remember when I found that out, if it was during the trip, before the trip, or after the trip. Pure problems we were having. I came back and I took my children and I went to the shelter, me and them. It so happened, like I said, I would calm down after a little bit, and then him and I, or whatever situation, talk it over and whatever. When I went to the shelter, he stayed with her at her house. He didn't want to go in no shelter. So the two oldest boys stayed at her house and they went to school from there. And I would come and bring my daughter and the baby to see him and see them, and I would still end up staying there sometimes on the weekend. Staying there even after all of that is going on. Came back to drop the baby once because my vehicle needed fixing. The window kept dropping down, so I had a blue tape around it. End up now, we found a place. We moved to a different, like half an hour, 45 minutes away from where she lived. And he's still not home. He's in and out. He's over there by her. Because whatever he said he's making his money is closer back over there in the big city with pure toxic and nonsense going on. I'm starting to vision stuff. I'm starting to see stuff. I'm reading my Bible now. I'm in my closet. I had a walk-in closet because I had an ensuite in the room where I lived at that house now. Bathroom inside my room and everything. I had a big walk-in closet. I was feeling too much, a lot of fire. I started writing down what I was praying for, the people in my family, praying for everyone, even her, asking God to change her from the way that she is back to how he intended for her to be. I started seeing a lot of things going on. I started getting dreams, a lot of dreams. Things were just appearing to me. I saw an angel just shoot through the clouds. Once I was sleeping, and when I woke up, I saw the bright light. The sun was just staring me in my face. A lot of things were going on. I was telling him a lot of things that was going on. It so happened she gave him a bag of things to bring home after I started telling him certain things, saying things to him. A keychain that I had my initial and his initial engraved in when he came out of jail for that big bit that he did. He was coming home, the key was not on it. He had a red string with the key on it around his neck that time. I'm like, so where's the keychain that I gave for you that you had? How come all of a sudden you don't have it and you have this new red thing now on it for you? She gave that to him. So the keychain with the engrave on it was no longer. All of a sudden he's bringing this bag with items of mine, saying that I left them there. They were not in my space when I was leaving and packing up everything to leave from there. They weren't there. Anything that was mine was not left around in sight. How he was bringing them back now that I moved to a new place, in a bag, all collected in a bag for me. I already knew who had them in their position, tucked away wherever she had them. It was a picture of myself. That picture I took with his friend, the same friend that I said was there when she took down the stress tabs and threw it at me. That picture was myself and that friend because I had went to his birthday party when he was 16. That's when I just had my firstborn. he was no longer in that picture. It was half. The picture would have been like this, him and I. Now, he was no longer on it. I was the only one in that picture. I was like, wow. Because either a year or two before that, that young guy, Jermaine, was killed by a police officer. He was a passenger in his friend's vehicle, and they stopped the vehicle saying for a traffic stop and ordered him out, and he was shot and he lost his life. So I don't know if I was reading too much into it, but I'm like, what did she do with that picture? Why she had to cut him out of the picture and only have me on that piece of picture?